Hey, welcome back to this rainy day. We're out here in the garage again, working on. Well, we got the bumper pretty much done. I think she's about ready to get cleaned up and coat of paint, so that'll be coming pretty soon. And then the next thing I wanted to try to get a handle on is the old spare tire carrier. And anybody that knows me knows that I like to repurpose things, and if I can, before I just totally start from scratch or totally replace it. So we're going to see if we can't use the old tire carrier, excuse me, and modify it to work with the new bumper. And I'd like to put a couple of the roto packs behind it. So that means that we got to create a gap between here and here, and still have enough space for the spare tire. Because right now we're not maxed out, but 33 fits pretty good in this area. So, but eventually I would like to go to a 35, so I don't want to cut myself short. We do have a little bit of adjustability here, and here if I need to, so I'm not overly concerned. So yeah, let's do some measuring and see what we can come up with. We might be able to do something on a rainy day. So here's where we're at. I'm pretty sure that if I put that little pivot post right in here, almost right in this little corner here, and then I come over here and I do a little chippy choppy. Well, we got that hole drilled. I got my little sleeve. That's gonna be just snug when I tap it in with the hammer. There's a little burr in there. But look at, you see that right there? I might have to go in and knock the edge of that weld off. But I think, actually, let's try this. That right there is money, folks. So I think that's gonna fit in there. I could tack weld it on the back side down in here. And then I'll make a little gusset that goes across the bottom. Alrighty, so I got a couple of 2-inch pipes in there as spacers to keep this thing all square, level, plumb, and whatever else we can think of. Because that'll give me enough room. I can put a roto pack in there. I think the 1 gallons are 1.75 inches, and I think the 1.5 gallons is right at 2 inches, so it should be okay, I think. Anywho's, so I think if I do this right, that should go something like that. And I can weld it in, and then I'm gonna put a top plate over it too, like a fish plate over the top. All right, we got her tacked up. Let's take some of these tie downs off. Oh, I forgot we didn't put the support sleeve in the back on the bottom, but that's okay. I just want to check more of the geometry. Well, I think we're on the right track. Yeah. Okay. Got ahead of myself there, but oh well. So let's get this back where it needs to be, and then I gotta go on the back side of the spindle and weld a tab on there so that it can't move around. Alright, the moment of truth. Got her back on, all welded up. It's pretty solid. It's basically moving the whole Jeep and the bumper's not flexing. This play is in the pin right there because it's not doesn't have like a bearing in there. If I had a bearing, you could set some preload and kind of keep that play out of it, but it just has like a cap that goes over it. So anyways, I think what I might do is put just like a stopper underneath, like a little piece of maybe angle iron, so that it comes in, because this doesn't sit flush with the bumper. It sits out just a little bit so I can get my 2 inches. So I'm kind of thinking if I took a small piece of angle iron, I could weld it to the bottom of this, it'll stop it here, and then I can take this and flip it and go vertically with it. Matter of fact, I have another one of these, it's a smaller, one of the first ones that I put on, and it actually has a little safety clip on it, which I kind of like that. So this can't just pop open, you have to squeeze the little trigger. So yeah, I'm not sure yet, and I might try to move that over to here so this handle isn't out, and then I could maybe even shorten this up a little bit, move this handle over to this area, and just put like a little clip right here for it to get on. I've thought about doing just some kind of a pin, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get it tight like I want it, and this thing's going to rattle going down the road. So I don't know. What do you guys think? What kind of a latching system should I use here? I want something that's got a little tension on it. That's why I like these, because they have like a cam over system on them. So anyways, I don't know, I might tinker around on this a little bit more. Nothing else to do on a rainy day. After we got all the stuff done for the spare tire rack yesterday, I was checking everything and opened the back gate, and we had a little bit of a interference issue, failure, design flaw, whatever you want to call it. So what happens is that this little bracket right here that the lock pin goes in, so that when you open it, it stays open so it doesn't swing back on you. It's clocked in the wrong position. So it actually hits the tailgate, and I can't actually open the tailgate unless I open this all the way back past where you guys are at there. So that's one of the things I'm going to address this morning. I think if we cut it off and we move it way back over to here, that's going to work so that when it's open all the way, it'll pin back here out of the way. Yeah, there's a couple other little things that I might tinker on today. We'll see how things go. I got to put the license plate back on, wire up the light for the license plate. Maybe at some point too, try to figure out what to do with the plug for the lights, for the trailer lights. And then I have an idea of what I'm doing for the latch for this. I just don't have that latch. So maybe this week, one day, I might be able to pick that up and get that knocked out here pretty soon, because I would like to be ready. Because like with this rain, you know, we get some calls for help when people get stuck, but what happens is, like right now, it's raining, so most people, you know, have common sense that you don't really want to go out. in the rain. And that's usually not really where we have the issue. It's the days following after it stops raining, and things will start to dry up. You get a little crust on the ground. It feels okay, and then you get kind of off track just a little bit. And it doesn't take much, just right off the edge of the road, and you'll end up sinking and having some issues. And then we get calls for off-road recoveries. That's part of the reason why I was pushing to get the rear winch bumper assembly functioning, so that that way we're not just dead in the water when that time comes here in the next week or two. So, anywho's, let's get going. We're going to cut that off and see where we need to relocate it so that it actually functions the way that we want it to.